Illegal hunting, or overhunting, is one of the primary causes for environmental issues and animal community harm. This is the Qaradagh district, which is well known for its efforts to discourage illegal hunting. Forestry officers constantly monitor the region and arrest hunters. I'll go to Qaradagh mountain to see how much protecting wild animals influences environmental recovery. Uncle, we're here to find out how frequently people go hunting and how effectively the surrounding areas are kept.
People used to hunt before it became banned because there are many different species of wild animals around the city. During the inflationary period, the 1990s, your hunters and even non-hunters used to go hunting. However, few people make a living from hunting. But due to inflation and high meat prices, many people used to hunt.
Before it became illegal, you mean in 1995? After the uprising?
After the uprising, 1991.
Have you gone hunting before?
I would have liked to go hunting after the uprising and even before that, setting up traps or hunting rabbits with a shotgun.
Why did you give up on it?
When it became banned, everyone must follow the rules.
As you've been here for years, do you notice any difference between now and before banning hunting? Has the population of wild animals increased?
Yes, even setting up fires in the forest and logging trees were prohibited, along with hunting.
All of those are banned?
Yes, all of them banned along with hunting.
Do you regret hunting now that you realize the environment has been restored?
Of course, I am regretful, without a doubt. Of course.
Do you usually tell young people not to go hunting?
Yes, I'm very sorry and feel so wicked.
In terms of wildlife conservation, the Qaradagh is one of the most important areas in the Kurdistan region. The prohibition of logging and hunting has resulted in an increase in the number and diversity of species. They have provided the area with a lovely and pleasant outlook. Although just a few hunters are arrested in Qaradagh each year, the forestry police constantly monitor the area with cameras, and their teams go out several times a week to closely check the forest condition. We're going to the forest with the police because, as previously stated, they look over the region every day, discover any violations such as hunting and logging, and arrest the suspect. We will accompany them to observe how they supervise this wide region.
In terms of mating seasons and tree protection, our objectives and efforts vary. There are specific seasons for hunting various species of wild animals, such as chukar. There are various kinds of hunting each season.
What are you doing in your daily patrol log?
We have temporary plans for mating and hunting seasons, but we also have regular plans, such as looking over the area and detecting any violations using drones even at high altitudes. We also have CCTV cameras to monitor wild animals.
What other equipment, other than CCTV cameras, do you use to secure the area?
We usually rely on the residents because they are quite conservative when it comes to nature and the environment. They are always willing to assist us. There are several well-known personalities who have always helped us in terms of bureaucracy and intangibility in order to conserve and enhance our magnificent nature. What makes us more cheerful is our sincere colleagues who understand their responsibilities and have a special appreciation for nature. They are peoples that acknowledge their environment and love it as their homes.
They consider the environment to be their home.
Yes, they love the nature and are committed to environmental protection. They frequently go monitoring the area without my involvement.
What would you do if you arrested a suspect? How would you encourage him not to do it again?
When we arrest someone, we need to collect sufficient evidence at the location. Our colleagues collect all verified evidence in the area. And as soon as possible, we record the everything about the crime immediately.
When we were told of or detected a violation or illegal shooting, I would dispatch the drone to cover the area before the patrol arrived. For if there is someone, can go and arrest him. I remember once a big snowfall that covered everywhere. We came across a man hunting who tried to deceive us by claiming to have been cutting grass for rabbits in that snow blast.
Despite the penalty for wildlife poaching, hundreds of poachers are captured in the Kurdistan region each year.
When we say this year, we mean the last 4 months. From January to April, we caught 152 violators.
The punishment for hunting varies depending on the animal. For example, hunting a tiger or bear costs 20 million dinars, while hunting wild deer and wild sheep costs 15 million dinars, and hunting wild goats costs 10 million dinars. There are also specific penalties for hunting birds.
In terms of birds, hunting falcon would result in a 10 million dinar fine, while hunting blue crane would result in a 3 million dinar fine. The fine is determined by the violation. For example, shooting jungle fowl would result in a fine of 500,000 dinars. As I mentioned, the fine varies depending on the type of animal, and the violator would face imprisonment. On the other hand, logging a tree older than 150 years would result in 5 million dinars fine and imprisonment, depending on the judge's decision.
The breathtaking view will not bore you no matter how much time you spend here. The birds sing all the time. There are many different sorts of plants. And because logging is banned, people normally do not log trees unless they are dead. Illegal hunting also helps to revive the wildlife population and delights the environment. Wild goats are one of the species whose population has recovered throughout time. They are classified as threatened by the IUCN, but their number has rebounded here and there, or a lot of them. The stronger and longer horned males have more chances to mate, and some have 5 to 15 females. Their life expectancy ranges from 12 and 22 years. The reason for their global population decline is habitat destruction and overhunting, although they live in peace due to illegal hunting here. The pond behind me was created by Iraq's nature organization to provide water for wild animals throughout the year. The program is part of a larger effort to protect the Zagros leopard. The presence of wild animals' footsteps near the pond indicates that they consume the water. Let's take a closer look. There are many footsteps, which indicates that the pond benefits the animals. Some of the footsteps resemble hyena footsteps, and if hyenas are present, they will undoubtedly benefit the habitat. Hyenas frequently consume carcasses, which is a form of environmental cleanup, since the carcasses decompose faster. Furthermore, hyenas have a strong stomach acid that neutralizes numerous bacteria, preventing the spread of many diseases in wildlife. I noticed some domestic animals' footsteps, which may have consequences, because some wild diseases may infect domestic animals or infect wild animals reversibly. As a result, shepherds should avoid this pond. Even carnivores are not hunted in Qaradagh, because each species plays a vital role in nature, and their extinction disrupts the natural balance. One of the carnivores in the area is the fox. Foxes play a vital role in reducing the number of rats and rabbits in the area, which might damage agricultural fields. Foxes also devour the remnants of animals taken by other carnivores. High biodiversity of Qaradagh attracts the attention of researchers. Kosh Ararat, a biologist, has documented 185 distinct bird species in Qaradagh, 5 of which are endangered. We listed some of the endangered animals that are being restored here. We are going to discuss the matter further with Mr. Korsh, who has been researching and recording threatened creatures in this area for over 16 years. In recent years, they have placed a greater emphasis on Egyptian vultures in particular. What are the findings of your study, and how many vultures have you counted?
Some people might confuse vulture, sisark, in Kurdish, with cockroach, sisark, in Kurdish. The Egyptian vulture plays an important function in the ecology. It is an endangered species, and the reason for its dwindling numbers is habitat destruction. Because they are migratory birds, they may be hunted or captured during their migration, as has happened in the Kurdistan region. Fortunately, we documented 12 pairs in Qaradagh. They move from hot to cold areas, and reversibly. They migrate here in spring. The unique environmental system of Qaradagh attracts vultures and griffon eagles. We have counted more than 300 griffon eagles, which indicates a healthy environmental system. Some birds are at the top of the food pyramid and are beneficial to the environment, while humans are a small part of that system. Persian oak trees are generally classed as endangered plants. However, Qaradagh has regenerated the quantity of oak trees, making the area more valuable. There are some metrics for describing animal and avian biodiversity. Greater spotted eagles, peregrine falcons, prairie falcons, and various doves can be seen in the area. The latter is an endangered species. As a result of those estimations, Qaradagh is quite significant. According to certain research, the more planted areas have a higher chance of rain. Hence, forest density remains high. Another species of beard that can be used to determine the age of oak trees is the middle-spotted woodpecker, which lives in places with old oak trees. According to our research, their numbers are increasing in Qaradagh. If oak tree forests were destroyed, it would be disastrous not only for birds, but also for humans.
How does that affect people?
This forest, as I mentioned, acts as a protective barrier against the spread of some infections.
Because hunting is prohibited in Qaradagh, it is one of the few regions with a conserved ecology. Sheikh Dler is a well-known figure in Qaradagh who is committed to environmental preservation and the prohibition of hunting. We would like to talk with him. How would you protect the region while also reviving the wildlife?
The concept of people's awareness to conserve the environment is evidence for the development of every community. There are wild creatures in Qaradagh, such as wild goats and leopards, as well as jackals, foxes, eagles and other birds, which are all vital to the ecology. We witnessed a vast massacre of wild animals in every direction, so in 1995, I began to consider consulting the people about prohibiting hunting. In fact, they were extremely helpful, and the government later formed a branch of the forestry police in Qaradagh. It also had an essential role, and I continue to support them in their efforts to discourage hunting.
The International Union for Conservation of Nature considers Qaradagh, which covers an area of around 250 square kilometers, to be a key biodiversity area. The United Nations Environment Programme has also designated Qaradagh as a protected area. Its ecosystem is reviving year after year as a result of nature conservation, and the number of animals is rising.